Good morning, Pittsburgh. I'm your host, Taylor Fife.
And I'm Royce Jones, and welcome to another exciting episode of Daybreak.
Our top stories this morning start with Pittsburgh politicians punctuating economic fears.
And new opportunities for Point Park students to have less maddening Mondays.
Wake up, Pittsburgh, because here comes Daybreak.
Start your morning with us, only on Daybreak. Taylor, I've got to tell you, I'm pretty ticked off.
Why?
This weather has me absolutely in an uproar. I had to cover my face as I was walking here. I left my umbrella at work, so I don't have it. I had to cover my face with my notebook on the way here.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, it definitely has been a roller coaster ride of weather. It was 40s to start off this week. It was 60 degrees, raining.
Right.
Yeah, it's definitely a roller coaster that seems to never end.
It is, although I am enjoying the nice warmness. And, I didn't have to wear my parka today.
That is true.
It is true. All right, well, we actually do have a weather debut today.
Yes, it's new. She's new. Nicole Pampina, what do you have for us?
Thanks, guys. Like you said, not too many stable conditions in Pittsburgh recently. Today it was in the 60s. Tomorrow that'll all change. We'll see a wintry mix on Friday, high of 48, low of 19. That'll change to rain on Saturday, dropping the temperature about 10 degrees to 39 with a low of 30. Sun will finally come out on Sunday. We'll see a high of 45 and low of 31. Monday and Tuesday, about a 60% chance of rain for both of those. In the same ballpark as it was today, around the 60-degree temperature, only dropping as low as 51. And later in next week, in the middle of next week, we'll see Wednesday with the sun peeking out behind the clouds, high as 63. Still get that warm weather that we all like here, and that will stay around the same on Thursday, 54, a low of 32. Just a little bit cloudy, so it goes back and forth, mostly clouds, kind of gray here in Pittsburgh, but hopefully that'll change as we move into spring.
Thanks, Nicole. Well, it looks like we're starting off the weekend in the snow, but I did see 60 to 63 degrees on Wednesday, so I'm looking forward to Wednesday.
I'm looking forward to that, too, and I'm starting to think that Punxsutawney Phil, maybe I'll take back some of my anger towards him from last week. Yeah. I think he heard our cries, and now he's going to give us some better weather.
Yeah, he's showing us mercy.
Yes.
Well, here's your city and campus news. In an announcement made on Monday, Pennsylvania Governor Tom Wolf, Mayor Bill Peduto, and the Secretary of Community and Economic Development, Dennis Davin, officially declared that the city of Pittsburgh is no longer financially distressed. All three men signed paperwork that released the city from its financially distressed title in Mayor Bill Peduto's downtown office. According to a statement made by Davin, Pittsburgh was under financial distress for 14 years. The city was able to shed its financially distressed status after Pittsburgh entered into the state program under Act 47, which helped Pittsburgh to avoid bankruptcy.
The Allegheny County District Attorney's Office said in a statement on Tuesday that they plan to seek the death penalty if 41-year-old Martell Smith is convicted of first-degree murder. Smith was charged with homicide and arson after he allegedly started a fire that killed two women and a 4-year-old child last year in Pittsburgh. Allegheny County prosecutors also stated Tuesday that, quote, capital punishment would be justified because the killings occurred during a commission of a felony. Smith's criminal history, the child's age, and the risk to others.
What did you give up for Lent? We gave up charging for fish. That's from a statement Permane Brothers made on their Twitter page Tuesday. Starting now through March 30th, they will be offering free fish sandwiches every Friday. In order to get the free fish sandwich, all you have to do is spend $5 between Saturday and Thursday, keep your receipt, and then download the Permane Brothers app, and you will get a coupon for a free fish sandwich that you can use on Fridays.
We may be heading into the weekend, but Monday is just around the corner, and if you're feeling stressed out about starting your week, boy, do we have an event for you. Every Monday, Point Park's Department of Community Engagement will host a relaxing event called Meditation Monday. The event offers 10 to 20 minutes of guided meditation sessions through various smartphone apps, offering students time to decompress and start their week on a positive note. This event is not just for students, though. The organization encourages students to bring their friends and even family members to join in. If you want to be there, the event will be held every Monday from March 5th to April 23rd from 1 p.m. to 1:20 p.m. in room 210 of Thayer Hall.
New opportunities are available with Point Park's Campus Activities Board. They're looking to fill 10 more executive board positions for the 2018-2019 school year. Their marketing team is searching for an advertising, graphic design, and PR coordinator. The administrative team needs a financial membership and administrative coordinator. And their programming team also needs coordinators in the Spirits and Traditions Experience Pittsburgh, Pioneer Series, and Special Events areas. Applications are open until February 23rd. We'll have the link for that posted on our Daybreak Facebook account.
After being postponed due to weather, a new date for the Me Too What's Next panel has been set. The event, presented by the Center for Media Innovation and Point Park's Title IX office, will be held Thursday, March 8th in the CMI building at 3 p.m. Panelists include Point Park faculty alongside industry professionals, all there to discuss the sexual assault allegations in the workplace and how to handle it if it happens to you. Title IX coordinator Elizabeth Rosenmeyer says, quote, "The conversation is changing around sexual harassment and misconduct in employment, and we want our students to know how to address these situations," unquote. Event leaders are urging you to take part in the interactive discussion. If you have any questions or concerns for panelists, you can ask via Twitter using the hashtag #MeTooPointPark before, during, or even after the event.
Well, also in some more campus news, the university here has hired a new part-time health counselor. Her name is Alicia Fairman, and she will serve temporarily as the university health counselor, in order to fill that full-time position. The counseling center is open to all students Monday through Thursday from 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. and Friday from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m.
Great. I think that's wonderful that they're filling that position, just to fill that gap between the time they find a new full-time member.
Yes, yes.
Absolutely. Well, thank you guys for tuning in. We have more Daybreak coming up after the break.
T. Why should you watch and focus?
Because why not?
Turn. Why should you watch and focus?
Because I produce it.
Welcome to In Focus.
Hello. This is so we don't run out of time.
Put up a goal just because it.
And a little bit closer, please. Let me bring this in. Yeah. I wanted to do a game. So
game time. All right.
Game over.
Yay.
Oh wow. Did we get that?
There he is. Why are you watching focus? Because in focus is great. Chris!
Game time! Game time!
It's not game time. It's a promo.
Start your morning with us. I'm your host, Jess Paterchek.
And I'm your host, Alex Grubbs.
Good morning and welcome to another episode
That is what
of
happened at the
Daybreak. I'm your
cathedral
host,
on Monday.
WPXI. The state wants to take $357 million out of a trust fund that is
that
typically
wintry mixed stuff could get me.
I'm gonna care for you.
Go, what up? The diva himself. Only on Daybreak.
55% of all U.S. multiracial adults have been subjected to racial slurs or jokes.
Where were you born? Being smart, pale, to Filipino, to go back to Mexico.
There goes that black boy over there. You like fried chicken because you're light-skinned, you are a cop, you think that you're better than us. The N-word.
You're good at jumping or climbing. Border hopper, made taco, English your second language. Where's your green card?
Cut the jokes, stop the stereotypes.
Welcome back to Daybreak. I'm Kiara Fry, and this is your sports news. In Pyeongchang, South Korea, the medal counts are climbing. Germany has the most medals at the 2018 Winter Olympics with 12. Team USA currently sits at 7 medals, 3 of which made history. Shaun White won Team USA's 100th gold medal in the Winter Games on Wednesday. His final run in the men's snowboarding halfpipe final secured the medal with a score of 97.75. In this run, White did back-to-back 1440s, landing the trick for the first time in competition. This was White's 3rd gold medal, making him the first American male to win gold at 3 separate Winter Olympics. However, White wasn't the first Olympian to get a gold medal at the 2018 Olympics for Team USA.
17-year-old snowboarder Red Gerard won the first gold medal for Team USA this year in slopestyle on Saturday. Gerard is the youngest person to ever win a snowboarding gold medal for Team USA, and he was almost late for the competition. He overslept and couldn't find his jacket the morning of the event. Gerard instead wore his roommate's jacket, which he said came down to his knees. From gold to silver, Chris Mazder medaled in men's single luge. With his silver medal, Mazder became the first American to ever win an Olympic medal in this event. Other medalists for Team USA include 3 female snowboarders, Jamie Anderson, Chloe Kim, and Ariel Gold, as well as the figure skating team.
Now, thank you for that. What have been some of the reactions from Young Olympians?
Personally, I'm so happy to see people so young winning gold medals and competing in the Olympics. It's crazy to think that these people winning gold medals were born in the 2000s. It's very different to see, and you can also tell how young they are by how they carry themselves, because Chloe Kim has frequently been tweeting about her Olympic experience and being hangry, and Red Gerard almost missed his event. That's it for sports. Let's head over to the Daybreak news desk with Megan Masiosi. Megan, what do we need to know in national news?
Thanks, Kiera. More tragedy coming from the south, but this time in Florida. Yesterday afternoon, an hour outside Miami, another school shooting took place. According to the New York Times, 19-year-old Nicholas Cruz opened fire at approximately 2:30 p.m. and killed 17 adults and students. When Cruz attended Marjorie Stonewall Douglas High School, he wasn't allowed to carry a book bag for previous threats he had made and was later expelled from the school. In 2017, one student had overheard 40 shots being fired into her classroom, and the school was described as chaos, with students sprinting out of the building in different directions while the SWAT team ran into the building to help those who took cover. The Parkman County school shooting is the 18th school shooting so far this year. The school will be closed for the rest of the week, and all flags will be at half-staff while its citizens try to pick up the pieces of what was supposed to be a normal day. Mardi Gras is a time of celebration before the start of Lent, but last night things kind of got out of hand. According to ABC, there were 3 separate shootings at the biggest party in New Orleans that left 3 people dead and many injured. The first shooting happened where the Mardi Gras parade ends in the French Quarter. The shooting left 2 men in critical condition. Police are still investigating a group of 10 to 12 young adults who were seen arguing right before shots were fired. An hour later, a second shooting occurred along the parade route, leaving 1 person dead, but police have no leads. The final shooting of the night happened in a convenience store parking lot less than 2 miles from the first shooting. When police arrived, 2 people were found dead and 3 were in critical condition. At this time, police are not releasing any of the victims' names.
Megan, another fatal school shooting in our country. Is Point Park University doing anything to prevent a situation like this from happening here?
There was actually an email sent out today by security, and they are trying to tell students that you need to sign up for point alerts. Those are very important. I know I've gotten them just for minor things that happen around the city, but the big thing here is ALICE, which is alert, lockdown, inform, evacuate, and counter. So basically, if you do encounter an active shooter, the first thing you want to do is hide, inform everybody else, and honestly, just try and stay safe. If you can help the situation by going after them, great. If not, just please try and save yourself. Now that's all for national news. I'll give it back to the couch with Royce and Taylor.
Thank you, Megan. After the break, we pop a few quarters in the meter to walk down the road with Delaney.
No need to make a turn, just cruise on down with us here on Daybreak.
You, I'd wanna be me too. I'd wanna be me too. I'd wanna be me too. If I was you, I'd wanna be me too. I'd wanna be me
Spending just 7 minutes climbing stairs each day cuts your risk of a heart attack in half over 10 years. Sure, elevators are convenient, but you burn twice the number of calories just going upstairs than you do while jogging. Think about how long you spend waiting for elevators. The average person spends the equivalent of 2 years waiting for elevators over the course of their lifetime. Don't let that be you. Save time and increase energy. Next time, take the stairs.
I tell these guys all the time to stick to talking sports and not playing sports.
Here we go. Ready? Didn't make it.
Welcome back to Daybreak, and welcome to Down the Lane with Delaney. I'm your host, Delaney Bomas, and today we have Taylor Spirito, which is she's making her Daybreak debut, so welcome. We're happy to have you. And we have back Kiera Fry, and we're going to talk about the Olympics once again, because the Olympics are a hot topic right now. So let's get started with the Young Olympians that we have. We have Chloe Kim, Red Gerard. What are your opinions on these 17-year-olds?
Well, first of all, it makes me uncomfortable that they're younger than I am. I mean, I was born in 1998. I know that we were all probably born, well, we were all definitely born in the 90s. So the fact that these kids were all born in the 2000s is kind of uncomfortable, but it's so cool to see them succeeding, especially Chloe Kim. I love her. She's adorable.
She's so cute. I cannot get enough of her. She's so cute.
Me neither. And I loved her tweet when she was, can we talk about that real quick?
Yes, let's talk about that tweet.
Okay, her tweet in between her runs where she tweeted she was angry that she didn't have her breakfast sandwich, so she was feeling hangry.
I have it. Do you want me to read it for you? It says, wish I finished my breakfast sandwich, but my stubborn self decided not to, and now I'm getting hangry.
The fact that I relate to that is very, it just makes me so happy.
I feel like we can all three relate to that, right?
Definitely. I definitely thought that when I saw the tweet, and I was like, oh my gosh, she's so like me.
And it's such a millennial thing to do when you're passing time. Like, what do? I go on Twitter, I go on Instagram, and I know that some people were kind of like giving her a little crap for it, but like at the same time, like, they're millennials. They're 17. Like, they're not at the prom. They're not, like, they're competing at this high level and showing how great they are, but they can still be 17-year-olds. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. It didn't distract her, clearly.
Oh, yeah. And it's so nice to see this spotlight, like you said, not distracting her and just, you know, she's staying true to herself, and that's really cool to see.
It was really cool to see her dad there with that cute Go Chloe sign. I love that so much. Like, this is why I love the Olympics. It's just so heartwarming to see all these, like, this is so bad. I'm only 21, but I'm saying all these young people. 21, I'm young too. Like, but it's so nice to see all these young people having all of the success and like just taking it all in and enjoying it all with their family and everything. And I just love that. It's so heartwarming.
Oh yeah, and even Red Gerard, he's also 17. You know, we have 5 gold medals or 6 right now.
I think it's 4 or 5.
Okay.
I just looked and now I can't remember.
I'm sure it's 4. Yeah.
Okay, and 2 of them are 17. Including Red and Chloe. That's crazy.
And did you see that Red forgot his coat, overslept, and then swore on national television?
And he still won gold.
Yeah, and he said that the reason that he overslept was because him and his roommate were up like super late watching Netflix, and I was like, I also relate to that.
Exactly. Again, such a millennial thing, and I love that so much. And like, again, like people are probably like, oh my gosh, he shouldn't have been staying up late, but like, he knows himself. Like, he knows he can get it done, and clearly he did. Like, I think it's great. I know you saw earlier an unfortunate thing with Chloe Kim.
Yeah.
You want to elaborate on that?
Okay, so in research for this segment, you know, debut, wanted to be prepared, I saw an article that it was a Bay Area radio host who was fired because he was calling her inappropriate things, saying that if she was 18, that he would be calling her other things, and it was just really unfortunate to see that she was going through that or being called that. And I'm, you know, glad that he got the repercussions that he did, because that's not okay.
We don't always see those repercussions either, especially with women in sports and everything. Usually it's just swept under the rug, like nobody needs to know about that. It was just a little Bay Area thing. Like, it's okay, but I'm glad as well that he got that, because that's just, so disturbing, which leads me to another thing, but with Shaun White. But let's talk about his success before we talk about the disturbing thing with him. So Shaun White won in men's halfpipe, third gold medal in 3 different Winter Olympics. So let's talk about that. What do you think about Shaun White?
He's very impressive because he's the first male Olympian to actually do that for Team USA, so it's very impressive. And it was nice to see him make a comeback from the Sochi Olympics where he didn't do as well as he had hoped, so it's kind of like a comeback story, and it's nice to see.
And with the whole comeback, I believe he just had an accident in New Zealand where he had to get, I think it was either 53 or 63 stitches in his face.
No, I didn't see
so
that. Wow.
To see that happen and to have him have that comeback, I mean, you saw his breakdown when he won.
Oh, I know.
You know, where he was hugging his parents, hugging his girlfriend. He tossed his snowboard in the air. He was so happy and so grateful, and you could really see that on his face.
Yeah, this was like the top of the thing. Like, if he was going to do one last thing in his career, it was going to win gold at this Olympics.
And that's what he said, too.
Yeah, exactly. So I love that. I think it was great. He was also the 100th gold medal for Winter Olympics for Team USA. So that's a pretty good feat. Like, overall, motions all over the place. So great. And then he had to go to his press conference. And the sexual allegation charge was brought up. And he said some not so nice words about it because before the Olympics, I had never heard that he was accused of this sexual harassment with his former drummer of his band. It was apparently settled in May 2017 out of court. It was in her past. She was done. She was happy it was behind her. And then it was brought up again. And he called it gossip. What do you think about that term?
I think it was just like, honestly, I just don't think he was thinking about it because it is like an insensitive word to use when you're talking about such a serious like issue in society, but I think that he just wasn't thinking about it because it just caught him off guard. But it definitely was insensitive to use like that term.
Yeah, and I don't want to sound like I'm defending him, but it was his moment, and the fact that this was brought up, you know, he was just trying to be happy, celebrate, but then, you know, this past was brought up, this ugly past, and, you know, it was obvious that he didn't want to talk about it. So like you said, it was very insensitive of him to say those words, but I can understand why he said it, but that doesn't make it right.
No, I completely agree. I understand why he said it. I understand where he was coming from. Like, I just won the gold medal. I did all this accomplishments. Like, I just want to focus on that. But the words he chose were his downfall. And he did later apologize for it. He said it was insensitive, especially with this whole Me Too movement right now. We need to be more careful of what we say in those moments where we're all, like, our emotions are taking over us. But I really don't know how I want to feel about this because I love Shaun White, but then this happened, but she's not mad anymore. And then I keep reading all these different articles. It's like a whole bunch of different things he's being accused of, and I don't really know what to make of it anymore, honestly.
Yeah, it seems like everyone has a different story when it comes to this, and obviously people have different stories no matter what, but this one seems to be way out of hand, way up in the air. You don't really know what's happening.
And I also think it makes it harder on him that when she did file the lawsuit against him, it wasn't really covered by the media, like mainstream media. So like in the press conference, it just kind of came out and caught people off guard. People didn't know about it. It just put it like not in proper context to make sense to everybody, so it's very confusing.
No, I completely agree. And with like everybody saying different things, I really want to know what happened. I want to have closure on this because they have closure, but what happened? Like, none of us really know what happened. There's so many different things, and I hope that we can get that in the future. I hope that nothing else happens where they're arguing and more past is brought up. I just really want to know what happened because clearly this is a huge thing in his life, but we don't really know what happened. Well, that does it for this week's segment of Down the Lane with Delaney. Thank you guys so much for coming on with me, and we'll take it back over to the couch with Royce and Taylor.
Thank you, Delaney. After the break, figure out which Apple product is causing damage to people's property and a closer look inside of Gucci Mane's personal life. Can't wait. This and more coming up after the break.
You'll ever do.
What's one word to describe CAB?
Welcoming.
Community.
Creative.
Experiences.
Family. Openness.
Pineapple.
The Campus Activities Board is a student-run organization that consists of 7 different committees. Each focuses on event planning, marketing, and administrative activities. Join us in organizing the juiciest events on campus, from late-night bingo to festive dances to our team bonding meetings. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Point Park Cap, or like us on Facebook at Campus Activities Board at Point Park University.
Good evening and welcome to Newsnight. I'm Josh Troop alongside Jess Paterchak.
Defending his decision to kick out 15 Cuban diplomats from the United States.
Thanks, Allison. Fitness on Demand has returned to Point Park.
Residents fear that Mount Agung will have a repeat of 1963's eruption.
2-star NFL quarterbacks made the headlines this week after wrapping up.
Well, thank you so much for joining us this evening. That's your news tonight. For Nick Tomarello, I'm Alex Grubbs. Have a great night.
Welcome back to Daybreak. I'm Nick Tomarello here with your timely tech news. Apple's new HomePod speaker was released about a month ago, and users are not that happy with the product. The HomePod had many positive reviews on how great the speaker sounded compared to competitors like Google Home and Amazon Alexa, but they also noted that only Apple's music streaming platform can be played alongside downloaded music. Sorry, Spotify users. People are also complaining this week after an online tech reviewer noticed that the HomePod speaker left a stain on his wooden table. According to Apple's updated support page for the HomePod, the white circular stain was caused by, quote, oils diffusing between the silicone base and the table surface. Apple stressed that users place the speaker on a hard surface and that if a stain doesn't go away, they should clean the surface with the furniture manufacturer's recommended cleaning process. And finally, first we had Snapchat stories, then Instagram and Facebook joined in, and now introducing Google Stories. Yes, Google announced this week that they will be rolling out a new way for people to consume the news. The new platform is called AMP Stories, named after Google's AMP articles, which usually load faster and appear first in a mobile Google search. AMP Stories will look familiar to Snapchat users who read and watch content on Snapchat's Discover platform. Many publishers will be included like CNN, Mashable, SB Nation, and People magazine. AMP Stories will be released later this year. Well, there's everything you need for tech news. Let's see who's in the entertainment spotlight now with Brianna McCall. Brianna.
Thanks, Nick. The time has finally come that Marvel fans have been waiting for since the end of 2017. That's right, Ryan Coogler's Black Panther premieres in theaters today and will be open all over the United States. Critics are calling this Marvel film one of the best projects to date, and it currently stands at a 98% on Rotten Tomatoes. In addition to its high ratings, Black Panther is also setting the bar high for box office sales. According to Forbes, the superhero drama could open up to $165 million in sales during the holiday weekend launch. For most theaters, some shows are already sold out after tickets went on pre-sale back in January. Black Panther is also noticed for being the first Marvel film directed by an African American and having a predominantly African American cast. The cultural impact of this film will not only help Disney financially, but it will set the bar for future Marvel movies. And Gucci Mane announced on Twitter that he teamed up with Paramount Pictures and Imagine Entertainment to create a biopic of his life story. After publishing an autobiography about his challenges in the past, including music, drugs, and being incarcerated, the rapper decided to bring his life to the big screen. The artist released his book last September, and after great reviews and sales on the book, it inspired him to put his story in a movie. Gucci Mane expects to get the same reviews for his movie that he received for his book. And after 1 month of releasing her self-titled album, Camila Cabello released her Never Be the Same tour dates. Starting in April, Camila will be touring in major cities like Vancouver, London, and New York City. Tickets will go on sale starting February 16th, and the proceeds from anyone who purchases a VIP package will go to the Children's Health Fund. That's it for entertainment, and I'll give it back to you guys over at the couch.
Thanks, Nick and Bree. Well, stay tuned to Daybreak because after the break comes the return of Conversation Boulevard.
Absolutely. I can't wait. I'm super excited to dig into it and talk about the topics we have.
What would you do to create something that could survive 1,000 years? You'd start with a formula, head to the lab, and forge it with fire. Just imagine everything it could do. It could leak pollutants into the soil and water, or it could conserve energy, cut CO2 emissions, and reduce raw material. Recycling is more than cutting waste. Recycling is about the legacy you want to leave. Why on earth would you want to do anything else? Recycle. Don't throw away our chance at survival.
Good evening and welcome to Newsnight. I'm Josh Krupp alongside Jess Paterchak. Tonight we begin with
The mayor is continuing to deal with the challenges the city is facing.
But tomorrow we have just a little bit of cloudiness. We have
off throughout the day with some strong wind gusts. That's going to continue tomorrow. 20
teams have already started talking to free agents. Saturday is partly cloudy, but 70 degrees? Where is the pool at? I mean, come on.
You might have already burned your bracket, ripped it up.
I am Royce Jones.
And I am Casey Houlihan.
Thank you so much for joining us this evening. That's your news tonight for today.
UView Television is live here at the Center for Media Innovation with a very exclusive interview with Point Park's Black Diamond, our school mascot. We're taking questions on our social media at UView Television.
Our first question came in from @PointParkU Black Diamond. They want to know, what is one thing you love about Point Park?
UView.
I knew it.
UView's the best.
It is. All right, Alex, you want to read our next question?
Okay, we have another question from Point Park Cab. They're asking, when is the next time you're going to make a surprise appearance at their next event?
He's being coy. Looks like we're going to have to show up.
Yeah, I guess we'll have to see.
All right, that's all we have for right now, but you can submit your own questions at UView Television, and we might read one of yours after the break.
Welcome back to Daybreak. Our stories here today for Convo Boulevard are really prominent here in our communities and across the country. As flu virus mortality rates continue to rise across the country and here in our area, it is very important to have the discussion on how to prevent the flu and really keep yourself healthy throughout the rest of this flu season.
Right, that's right, Royce. And today we have Megan Maciosi joining us today. So let's get right into it, guys. Now, according to the CDC, that's the Center for Disease Control, a total of 14 people have died from flu-related complications in Allegheny County. That's higher than last year, where there was a total of 9. This shocking number, I mean, this is crazy. It's really an epidemic.
It is absolutely an epidemic. And, you know, what's really crazy is that here, particularly in our area, according to the Allegheny County Health Department, the flu deaths and flu virus breakouts period have doubled since last year around this time and really throughout this entire flu season. I came across a graph on their website, and it really broke down the numbers, and I have some of that information here. Flu cases here in Allegheny County last year, 2,981. Wow. This year at this time has more than doubled to 7,245 cases.
Wow. And Megan, I know you said earlier before the show that this strain of the flu is very complicated this year.
Yeah, so when I was also researching it on the CDC, there's actually, this year's flu shot is not nearly as effective as what it has been in the past. The flu shot, honestly, is only about 36%. I think you are talking 36% effective to begin with. But this year it's especially bad, because the H in the flu, it actually mutated this year, and that's why the flu shot isn't working for anybody. So if you did get your flu shot, you're not protected this year. And this virus actually mutates quite frequently, which is why we have epidemics every couple years. So I think, you know, doctors really need to stay up on it with these vaccinations.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I think also to kind of bring into perspective the conspiracy theory about the flu shot, well, I was doing some research and I spoke to some health officials about this, and they say really they're injecting the dead virus into your body. So it really does help you build an immunity to the virus and help you fight it off, because ultimately the flu is untreatable. There's not really much medication that you can take to cure your symptoms. I mean, you can really take ibuprofen to decrease your fever symptoms, and anything else, Sudafed to help, and even with chest congestion and everything, that, you know, they might suggest Mucinex, staying hydrated, sleeping it off. You really just have to let the virus play its course.
And you know what's really shocking about this flu season too, especially here in Allegheny County? According to the PA Department of Health, the high-risk groups are kids less than 5, adults over 65, pregnant women, people with pre-existing medical conditions. But surprisingly, here in Allegheny County, those 14 deaths have been people in their 40s. So it's showing that the target groups are really not being targeted.
Right.
Well, what's interesting is I was reading on the CDC, the reason it's spreading so much this year is because you don't get sick days off work for them. Like, they still expect you to be there. So it's spreading even worse because, you know, you go to the doctor and you're on the antibiotic, but it doesn't take full effect for 24 hours and you're back at work infecting other people. So I think that's why it's spread in schools. I mean, you know, kids don't wash their hands regularly. They don't sneeze into their elbows, they just cough without covering their mouth. So I think that's why it's really bad this year, because we're just not taking those necessary steps to keep people home when they need to be so it doesn't spread.
Absolutely, and they even say, health officials will tell you, if you have this, stay home. It's not worth spreading the virus. And when you're coughing and everything and sneezing, to make sure that you're covering it up so that you can not spread the germs. I mean, you can get airborne bacteria from this virus. And also, you know, to make sure you're frequently washing your hands. Don't touch your face, your eyes, your mouth, anything. It's really, really important that you don't do that.
I know one thing that I learned is that whenever you're sneezing or coughing, you're not supposed to do it into your hands. You're supposed to cough, you know, into your this elbow area right here. It's supposed to lessen the spread of germs and things like that.
Right, and I mean, especially it like skyrockets. It is so easy to catch this virus. You see so many cases of it, as we saw here in our county, doubling since last year. You know, it's super duper important that you are following this. I can't stress enough. Make sure you're not spreading those germs. And what's also really interesting is 48 states here in America, it's widespread.
It is. It's definitely widespread. And for Point Park students, now, the health department here at Point Park does not currently offer flu shots, but since we are a downtown campus, we have Rite Aid, CVS. They offer free flu shots with most insurances, and you can walk in. You don't need to schedule an appointment. There's a Rite Aid on Smithfield Street, Penn Avenue, and CVS on 5th Avenue, Smithfield Street, or Liberty Street.
Awesome.
Let's hope we can get this under control then.
Absolutely, definitely, definitely. I can't stress enough. Wash those hands. All right, you guys. Well, Megan, thank you so much for coming on and talking about this important issue with us. And that's it for Daybreak, you guys. Tune in next week for the news you need. I'm your host, Royce Jones.
And I'm your host, Taylor Fife, hoping your news is good news.